as exciting as it would have been for me to do it all on camera, I figured I'd spare you. But I've been repinning a lot of the bad Molex connectors on this. I took it off the board. I cleaned the board up a little bit. It's mounted on a piece of it was a half-inch plywood, a wooden plank. Clean that off. Give it a real quick shot of white paint. It was originally painted white. I painted it white over it just to make it a little nicer. Clean that up a little bit. Clean the line filter up. Clean the service outlet up. That little fiber fuse block I don't like. I'm going to replace that with the new fuse block before I put it back onto the piece of wood. As you can see, got a nice piece of lamp cord there being used as the line plug. That's nice. We'll get rid of that and put a proper plug on it. I'm not going to repin this. That's just .084 Molex, I think. Barrel pins. No burning. It seems to work out okay. So we're gonna leave that. The other side of it looks okay too. I have this. I just don't want to go through the trouble of repinning it if I don't have to. What I did repin was I repinned this connector, the one that plugs into the I believe it's the bottom of the power supply board. Yeah, I know it's not the prettiest thing. What somebody had originally done was they'd taken the black wire, the gray wire, and the green wire, and they had soldered it directly to the back of the header pins on the board. That's a quick fix, I'm sure, when it's in the field for an operator. I get it, but when I have it out, I'm obviously going to do a better job. However, when they did that, I guess they had a lot of burnt wire up here, so they cut back, and the green and the black wire were cut all the way back to here, and I just couldn't even adjust in the zip ties. I couldn't get enough of it so the wires would be somewhat even and they'd reach the connector. So what I did was I had some heavier gauge green and black wire, and I spliced a piece to the existing wire, short pieces. Now, yeah, the electrical tape looks crummy. What I do is I solder the joints together. I do an inline splice. I solder the splice. I put heat shrink tubing over the splice, and then I put a couple wraps of electrical tape over the heat shrink tubing. Overkill, yeah, but you know, I have cheap, crappy heat shrink tubing anyway, so it's not as durable as it could be. The electrical tape gives it a little bit of extra protection. So does it look pretty? No, but it's going to be inside the cabinet, and like I said, I'm not going for a perfect restore. The original connector, in comparison, looked like that. Right, if you're familiar with Williams pinball machines, you'll see that a lot on the GI circuit, the GI header connectors and the header pins. Some of the pins will be totally burnt off the board. The power supply had the same thing. It had pins burnt off the board, and it had these pins burnt here. So obviously, like I showed you before, the board's got new headers, and the burnt connectors get brand new Molex connectors. Nice .156. I even put the key pin in there. I try to make it nice. That's my nice little work board that my kids decorated for me. Over here in the big giant heatsink. Turn my fan off. Got another nice Molex connector. The original one for this was also burnt. I'm sure I have it. For some reason I'm weird. I like to save, when I do a repair, I like to save all the old parts. I'll pile them up. I throw them all out. I don't reuse them, obviously. I'm sure there are people out there who might do that. I don't. But I save them in a little cup and then I dump the cup at once. I'm strange. Whatever. I can't find the old plug, but here's a new plug. Looks a lot better than the old one. What we're still waiting for some parts. You can see the mess of caps I got. A lot of Mauser stuff. Finished the power supply board. Excuse me, it's not the power supply board. What board is this? I'm not sure what board that is, but I finished it and it's done. Right, soundboard, right? You have sound ROMs on it. There you go. Sound ROM board is done. The soundboard is done. That's another thing out of the way. The power supply board. Power supply board is done except for some other components. I'm going to replace the bridge rectifier on here, along with a couple of the 2 voltage regulators there. I got sockets and voltage regulators coming. This little bridge apparently is only a 12-volt bridge. This little one down here really is not prone to failure, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. This is the interface board, I think it's called, with the ribbon cable. New ribbon cable from Quarter Arcade. New headers. Had to do a little bit of trace repair with some wire wrap. When I pulled this ribbon cable, when I pulled it, I was very careful. I used a desoldering gun, but it lifted a couple traces. Not bad. I traced them back. Went via the bottom of the board. Everything works. Everything tones out fine. It should be okay. And then the ROM board itself, we got our new cable on it, and some new headers, a couple of caps, so we're good. I'm wondering what this little thing is floating here. I don't see that on all the boards. Kind of floating out in space there. Interesting. Anyone know what that is? For the main board, have to put the button coin holder on there. Debating or not whether to do the RAM upgrade. Right now these are all original RAMs. I haven't tested them. I'll test them all. I have a Neolock tester. I'm pretty sure they do the 4116s. Pretty sure it does it. Put some new caps. I didn't have an axial cap, so I just use a radial cap right there. Yeah, whatever. And yeah, I think that's about it. I know on one of these boards I busted one of the little ceramic caps. I ordered more little ceramic caps. I don't know how vital it is, but I figured if I broke it, I might as well fix it. And then, like I said, new headers on here. So we're in good shape. I am still sick, so I'm hanging out. Hey, there goes my soldering iron. That's great. God only knows what I dropped. Still sick, so I'm still indoors doing stuff. I have not gotten back out to do any more body work on the cabinet. Oh yeah, here it is. Right there, you see those 2 empty solder holes right there? That is where a little ceramic cap went. The same one that's over here. I got a bunch of them. They cost nothing, so I'll replace that one and this one over here. They're 0.1 microfarad, 50 volt. If I find any other ones around, I guess I'll replace them since I have them. So yeah, that's about it. Not very exciting, but I figured I'd do a quick little update before I go and have some lunch and take a freaking nap because I feel like crap. Here's our nicely, well, not nicely painted. Here is our hastily painted board. Hastily is a much better word. And I'm already up to 8 minutes and 30 seconds of babbling, so I'll leave you with that. Hopefully next time we see something, I'm either plugging everything in or I'm doing some more cabinet work. Hopefully that's soon. I don't have to go back to work until Wednesday, so we should be able to fit some in there. If it wasn't so freaking hot and humid in the Northeast, right now it's a heat index of 105. Something like 95% humidity. It's effing ridiculous. So I ain't going out there, especially the way I feel. All right, take care. Thanks.